some of the comments about, we asked people what time they like to watch it, or like, and then like how they watched it. And a lot of people said that they didn't, they preferred being able to listen to it in one time. So they intentionally listen to it later,
I did see that.
which is fine, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah. Did we ever get the home gym podcast Spotify thing sorted?
No, not yet. There were some issues with like transferring it,
From
and
like
transferring it from
their
Mark's to mine,
ownership? Yeah, that's what
the
I figured.
ownership. We
Yeah,
also, at the very least, we can just start fresh.
yeah,
Um, but I do think it has helped them build it up on YouTube, which is fine.
yeah,
But I want to make a better experience for everybody, and we'll eventually get that onto the podcast. I mean, but the comments from last week made me think, oh, we should just start our own feed as well, for Knurled News on the
yeah.
spot. Yeah, we probably should. I didn't know if we should do it on Garage Gym Experiment or just start a new one with Knurled News. The thing is with Garage Gym Experiment, there's already like 1,000 subscribers baked in, which is
Yeah.
like 4 times more than everybody else. So like Garage Gym Experiment podcast has more of an established
Yeah.
podcast base because
Brand
it's like 3 or 4
loyalty.
years.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't know either.
I don't know. Morning, fellas. Um, we were just discussing the behind the scenes details, decision making on how to move forward with sharing these episodes on Spotify, because right now we house them all under Garage Gym Radio on YouTube, but on Spotify you can kind of give them each their own individual, well, podcast brand. So we were just discussing how to do this one and a couple of the others. But anyway, we don't have to bore you guys with that.
Anyways,
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We got some cool stuff to talk about today
we
with
did
with a last second edition.
a lot of stuff kind of snuck up. And I can just pull up the doc.
Yeah, we don't
Actually,
want to, make 10 seconds of content take any longer than it has to.
did you see me put that on there?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I
And yeah,
did.
I'm sure you know exactly where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know for sure. But we're going to get right. I'd listened to a whole
Right into
episode
it.
that
Why
was
is this
just
not working?
inside baseball talk. Right on. That's what we're going for. I think anytime that we find ourselves doubting, whoa, oh, you still got that.
I did figure out how to fix it right before we got onto this, so it shouldn't be an issue next week.
Okay. Um, anyway, to finish my sentence, anytime that we find ourselves second guessing or doubting our decision making around too much chatter or not keeping the conversation on topic, I think it all comes back to, at the end of the day, that we hope to build up a level of like loyalty, trust, and just interest where we could pretty much talk about anything and hopefully maintain the majority of our audience. Anyway, but so anyway, yeah. So thank you, Joey, for affirming that thought.
Yeah.
What do we got today, Jake?
Yeah. So, Knurled News today. Lots of stuff, actually. So, Rogue launched the CTM and also their multi use lat seat to go along with it. Bulletproof, Bulletproof released a high/low pulley that connects to the VTS. Rep has a glute ham roller. Nothing too crazy there, but kind of wanted to talk about my experiences with that ham roller in
Okay.
the garage. Dialed Motion teasing something else. And then last minute addition, Titan announced a new product this morning. Before we get to that, quick reminder of Home Gym Con coming up, 66 days out. So you got a little over 2 months. You can use code LIVE on the tickets. And I will say one of the cooler things that that happens with like the ticket sales is like doing a podcast episode, and then later that day someone uses the code LIVE to buy Home Gym Con tickets. I think that happened like 2 times last week, and it was just interesting that it was also code LIVE. So
Love it. Is it still holding as the most used discount code?
I think code LIVE's the most used.
Let's go.
At least since this episode has started. This show has started.
Okay.
I've also mentioned in a few places that the rooms, the room block for the rooms will be going away 5:15, but I'm saying some places 5:1 to try and like emphasize signing up now. So book those rooms as soon as possible. It could also very easily sell out. And then lastly, we're in like the last week and a half of companies being able to sign up. And just wanted to let everyone know that one of the really successful ways that we've been able to get new vendors is actually from like you all reaching out to them and telling them that you want to see them. So I just want to like encourage anybody to say, hey, if you know of a company that would get a lot of value out of going to Home Gym Con, please just send them a message. Like, we'd love to see this at Home Gym Con. It does work. And I think, actually, I know like it would help them if they found a way to get to Home Gym Con. So no, we have not already reached the minimum needed for the room block. We do have, if you combined the number of 2-day tickets, and like if you said each company was going to have 2 employees that stayed there, we would blow the room block number out of the water. So I just know everyone is kind of like a last second planner when it comes to these types of things. And I know there's a reason there's still rooms left. It's because people haven't signed up yet for their rooms. So it's one of those challenges that this event has. Like, there's no real incentive for you to book your room early. And since there's no incentive, people wait to the last minute, and it makes it really challenging for us to plan. So that's why I just said book your rooms. And it also makes it really hard to book a larger number for next year, because you're planning that right now, and they're like, well, you're only here. So that's another reason we want to book those rooms. Helps me out tremendously.
Yeah. Book early. Plus, right. I mean, if there's any level of urgency, it could be around the fact that there's typically less double queens than there are single kings. So if you're trying to save money and you want to room up with a buddy, you got to move quick so you can grab a double queen.
That's a very
unless
good
you
point.
want to share a bed with your bro.
No, the double queens definitely sell out quickest, and I'm surprised they're even still available.
Yeah. Welcome, Gold Bars, first timer in the chat, interested in learning more about the CTM, or at least getting our thoughts.
Cool.
But not to push you along, but I just wanted to acknowledge. Actually, I said Gold Bars. It's Gold Bars, no D. Gold Bars. What's
Gold
up?
Bars.
Welcome to the live show.
Yeah, well, let's get to it. And real quick, right before we get to the Rogue CTM, I don't think we've even touched on this at all. But last week we got a comment that said, why did 10 minutes worth of information take 1 hour? I don't know. I don't know that. But if you do want to get this sort of information in a compact, concise newsletter once, maybe twice a week, try and keep it as concise as possible. Takes 2 minutes to go through, even if you read everything. Subscribe to the Knurled News newsletter in the link below. Been doing it for about 5 years now, I think. I think the newsletter is probably about 5 years old. It has like an open rate of like 50-60% typically. So the numbers are in thousands of subscribers. So if you aren't familiar with the newsletter, you like newsletters, you want this information every week, click on the link below and subscribe. So thank you for taking the time to leave us that comment.
Do the thing, as they say.
Do the thing. All right. Product number 1. And this has been a product that a lot of people have been antsy about for, I want to say like a year.
It's been about a year.
Rogue put it on their website. And I think based on what they said was they were just overwhelmed with the functional trainer add-on, the FM6. And didn't quite get to this until today or last week, or to release it until last week. So I would say this is Rogue's answer to the Adonis. And also you could kind of say the Titan cable tower, which released a few weeks ago. I think it's their Rogue answer based off of not only the product, but the price. So they priced it very competitively. So not a cheap item at all, $3,000, but very competitive. There's a number of different options that you can kind of create how you want it. So 90 or 100 inches, standalone, or you can attach to your rack. It's Monster and Monster Light. The stack starts at $250, but it can be upgraded to $300 for more of an upgraded cost. Similar to the Adonis, it has the 1-to-1 lat pull down, pulley ratio, and then a 2-to-1 for the single column trainer. It's made in the USA. It has imported pulleys. I'll talk about the seat as well, which I don't see why anybody wouldn't want to get the seat for another $399. This is also made in the USA. It has 11 seat angle adjustments and 7 height adjustments so that you can should be pretty, has a lot of variables for height. So basically whatever size you are, you should be able to find the right angle and distance for your gap, find the right gap width, I guess, for lat pull downs. And then it also can be flipped upside down to replicate like a seal pad row. Also keep in mind all of those angles. So pretty versatile item as well. Much more than just a seat, and something that you could also get creative with. Looks like a pretty cool option. I haven't heard much community feedback, but I know they had this past year. They made some upgrades as well.
They definitely took their time with it, and this is, I think this worked out in their favor. When they initially teased it a year ago, and then pulled it back a little bit because, as you mentioned, they were overwhelmed with the interest in the FM6. I think that worked out well because the changes they've made, both aesthetic, I think mostly aesthetic, but especially to like the seat, are welcomed improvements. And I really like what they've got going on here. You said, you had mentioned it's a 1-to-1 ratio on the lat pull down. It's the same on the low row. 1-to-1, and then like you mentioned, 2-to-1 for the trolley. But I think aesthetically this is an improvement. I like the feet that they've gone with here, and Joey's even commenting like, I think the seat is going to get a lot of interest just by itself, even for people who have other similar use cases but maybe don't own or plan on buying a CTM1. I think the seat, I'm particularly interested in that as well, just to see how it functions, how heavy it is. the different adjustment angles. I think I think this is just kind of like bursting on the scene late, but capturing a lot of attention.
So
So,
I think off the top of my head, I was curious. It's 42 pounds versus 47 for the Pegasus.
oh, okay. I didn't even look into it that closely.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I've heard like the Pegasus has got some people love it, or I think for the most part people love the Pegasus. They don't love the price on it, but there has been some feedback I've seen around tolerances, wiggle, things like that. Um, so I'll be curious to see like a side by side comparison, and I'm sure they'll be coming.
Yeah. I haven't I see a lot of people picking up the 4.6 one as well.
I've
I
been
don't
seeing that one come up a
I
lot more.
haven't looked into all of the differences between all of them. Um, I think that would be a really good comparison for somebody to do that. Or if anybody has feedback on that, feel free to throw it in the comments. But 399 for this seems, I mean, not bad. I mean, I think I got so I have the Exponent Edge one, and
Okay.
it's not even used for a seat. And I mean,
It's not really
it does.
designed
It's
as a
not designed
seat.
for a seat, and it has
Okay.
more angles. But
Yeah.
I think that thing was like over 300.
Right. Right. I wanted to just share Dr. Taddy Waffles. Nice name change there, by the way, so we know who you are across all platforms. Um, that they're still not using mag pins, but I think that goes along with what we've been saying or started saying with this is that Rogue is never usually first to the market. They're kind of like Apple in that way, right? But when they do release their version of whatever the popular thing is, it's usually done just a little bit better in a lot of cases. And I wonder if they were to release mag pins. I'm sure if they would be awesome. But from what I've heard, safety is like one of their biggest things. And I do think mag pins present potentially a safety issue unless they're doing like the cotter pin on the other end of it. Anyway, I'm talking about things that we're not even showing on screen, but I'm interested in a Rogue mag pin as well. Titan
Yeah.
just released some, actually. We should have put that in
Oh,
here.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea if Rogue ever listens to anything like this,
No, yeah.
but I wonder like what they thought of like you saying that. I'm like, huh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Mac pins, okay. Um,
But yeah, the CTM one, I'm interested. I'll definitely be putting in some time on this at Home Gym Con, assuming it'll be there. Um, I think aesthetically, it might be my favorite one when I look at this versus the Rep or the Titan one. I do like that wing that the Titan one has, but I'm sure you could probably do something similar if you wanted a wing with this one, maybe only using one of the what would we call those like angled feet that they have there, and then on the other side doing a wing. That's the beauty of the 3x3 1 inch hole ecosystem. So
yeah, this does look good. It looks like Rogues. All right. Was there any other good comments in there about this?
yeah, there's some good chatter. I've been trying to um,
Well, I do. I
keep
think
up.
I saw some comment about you see a lot more people buying Rogue in their area. I mean, I imagine they're gonna really go hard during this tariff era, try and
Yeah,
pump as much stuff out at reasonable costs as possible.
you are right. They
Seems
do
like a good
stand
opportunity
to.
for them.
I
Yeah.
don't think they ever lost ground, but I think they're still out ahead, right? With Rep, coming up on their heels, but I think that the tariff situation does present an opportunity for them to stretch the lead a little bit more. Here's an interesting one from our new guest.
Ooh,
It's either CTM1 or Vultra for me. So
that's interesting.
that is really interesting. Man, I guess it would probably just depend on how strong you are, right? Like, is the 200 pounds on the Vultra gonna be enough for you on rows and lat pull down. It would be for me, but let me ask you, Jake, if you had to go with the CTM one or Voltra, which would you do?
I would I would undoubtedly go with the CTM.
Would you? Okay.
Because I have the space, and I mean, I like the look of it. So I mean, you can say what you want about like the look and who cares, but I want a cool looking gym, um, and I don't know that like this thing will last for 75 years. um, And if I bought it and in 10 years I had to sell it, with price increases, you could probably sell it for the same thing you bought it for. Whereas the Voltra most likely in 10 years will be dead.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about it in the right way. My gut instinct would be to go with the Voltra, but again, I don't have the space, and I think that the Voltra adds more versatility in terms of like where you can mount it to accommodate what you already have. But you're right, the Voltra is not going to sustain its retail value, and in 10 years, you will be able to sell this for about what you
Oh,
paid for it. I will say though that when I see like the old versions of the Rogue Lat Towers, or even their single stack with the trolley, they sit on marketplace forever. Usually because people are trying to get too much for them. But there's one price locally to me for like 2,600, and it's been sitting. Like nobody. It's like, okay, you're saving me $800 off of retail price. No thanks. Plus the pain in the butt to move that thing.
yeah. I since space isn't much of an issue, I would rather just have a standalone lat pull down and low row, and the functional trainer portion of it be separate.
Yeah.
So I mean, this wouldn't necessarily be it's not the perfect product for me.
Right.
But I do like the seat here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, put that on like the a single column trainer and be able to like use it with a pulley system. That would be awesome. But in a perfect world, I still think they're separate.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still awesome, beautiful product. The Adonis as well,
Yeah.
the Titan one. I think they're all like pretty awesome. Is that enough CTM?
Let's see. Um, yeah, I think so. There's some good chatter in there, but
Yeah.
I think we can move along.
Okay.
Better grab a sandwich.
Whoops.
Go down here
All right.
immediately into some
Prepare your
triceps.
ears.
I turned the
Little
volume
body
down.
roller.
Shouldn't be too
This
high.
thing is sweet.
Um. Oh, and this will. Why did that freeze? But this is cool. This is Bulletproof's high-low pulley that
Little body roller.
you can
This
see it
thing
in the
is
picture here
sweet.
is attached to a VTS. And it has a low portion, a high portion, and the cool part is that it swivels. So you can
Yeah.
swivel it from side to side and just hit multiple different angles. Pretty cool rack attachment that, like I said, attaches to the VTS. They mentioned that a solution for non-VTS users is in the works, where you can add plates, and then I I don't know if there was any uh, video teasers, but the a belt squat attachment is also coming to it. So this is just another example of Bulletproof kind of just adding on to a few of their core products. The front pulley, I didn't choose the best video to showcase this, but the ability for the pulleys to swivel from side to side rather than just going up and down is pretty cool.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this will be something that continues to evolve, or at least the design of these pulleys being able to swivel left and right kind of continues to expand. Something maybe with a stack would be cool. I'm curious. I watched a couple of videos, but what I'm most curious about, maybe somebody in the comments knows, are you able to lock it in a certain direction? So for instance, if you wanted to pin the top pulley out so that you could go for a wide fly, are you able to lock it in an outward or inward position? I know it follows you as you move, but if you wanted to set this up for dual flies, can you pin it out so that you're expanding the width of the overall stretch? I don't know, but I'd be curious.
I think you can.
You
but
don't think you can?
I think you can.
Okay. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming it seems like a obvious feature to be included, but I like where this is going. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yep. Very cool. I mean, it does seem like a lot of work if you want to use the VTS on its own.
Yeah, Andy's
And you
bringing that
mentioned
up.
like using in stacks would be cool, but this, I mean, if you have a single post or you have a dedicated, I guess I should say a couple dedicated posts, this could be really cool. A lot of versatility.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
I
lot of
like it.
setup. Yeah. All right, next. Um, Rep glute ham roller. So we don't need to go over all of the features, but it does look like it's relatively comfortable and the feet position are nice and you can easily, it's well designed for easy attachment to a pulley system.
Mm-hmm.
I did have one in my garage for a number of years before, building out with like more dedicated pieces of equipment. And these were awesome to have,
Really?
especially at the price. So
Never had one.
kills your hamstrings.
Okay.
Very good for your hamstrings. You can use it as like an ab roller. That's about all I used it for. I guess you can put it on your like slide to the side. I don't know what those are called, but if you put one foot on and slide, um, for like $89, I think that these are cool. We don't have to go into too much of it, but they're cool. The only issue is like I had a rolling driveway or like a hill, and sometimes it rolled away. But other than that, pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I think they originally came out and there wasn't a way to attach them to a pulley, right? Like some of the earlier ones didn't have the cable attachment option. Now that kind of seems to be standard, but I've never used one. I'd be curious to try one. I could use a better way to hit the hamstrings and the glutes in my small space. So maybe this is something I should be considering.
I think so actually.
And it's compact, so I shouldn't have too much trouble storing it.
And I used it with bands. I've never used it with a pulley system.
Bands, that's right. That's what people
Yeah.
would use it with, is with
Yeah.
bands.
And
Yeah.
even without bands, you like pretty you can get some work done, especially as a beginner.
I was never a skateboarder, unfortunately, even though I grew up in Southern California where that was very much a thing. But yeah, you could, I guess, use a skateboard, drill a hole in the front, attach a pulley to it, or a cable to it. But yeah, maybe I should look around. Rogue doesn't have one of these, do they?
No, I think Sorenex is known for being one
That's
of
right.
the earlier one. I don't know if they're the first or what, but I know Sorenex used to sell one.
Well, you've got my interest. Maybe I should. I see Chip, Fig Jam Exerciser, using his all the time in his stories and posts and stuff. But I've never had a ton of interest in one. But
Yeah, I
maybe
think
that should
it's one of
change.
those things where you get it, it's really awesome. You use it a lot at the beginning, and then it does kind of fade, especially as you get more equipment. But I think, this is reasonably priced. Do the job for a while until you're ready to get something else.
Get a
One of those
dedicated
products.
leg extension, leg curl.
Yeah. And pretty good for abs as well. So
Who
All right,
trains
let's-
abs?
let's move on.
Hey guys, I'm here with our first production sample
Okay.
of our
This video is like 2 minutes long, so we can either skip it or scan it. But this was another teaser from Dialed Motion, and actually I noticed they changed their name to Dialed Strength.
Did
on
they?
Instagram.
Oh,
yeah. Not sure what that
interesting.
means, but this is a leg roller / foot plate attachment. So this is designed most specifically, it can do a lot of things. It seems like with the right minds, and it seems like a really thought out design, as you would expect from these guys. But I think the primary thing here would be for a lot of people complain about doing low rows on the ground, for example. So this would pair well with a bench, I believe, and you could use that for your feet, so you don't have to do it on the ground. Leg roller, there's quite a bit of things you can do. I like to use them for split squats, and then I also like putting them all the way on the ground and using them for sit-ups.
Okay.
So that's how I usually use them. And I mean, there's a lot of people who get very creative with them, but this seems cool.
Yeah, I think one of the things that came out, or yeah, one of the ideas or questions that came from the community on this post was, because in the video you can see him detach the rollers from the unit, and then immediately people started saying, "Oh, great! Is it possible to use those rollers and just mount them to an upright?" And they responded and said, "Yes, we could do that. It's going to impact the cost a
I'm
little
here with our
bit."
first production sample.
Let's see. Can you scroll the video? It was.
The thing
Hey
is
guys,
like
I'm
right
here
in
with
my
our
way.
first
You gotta go
production
out of
sample
presentation mode.
of
Yeah.
our leg roller foot
Yeah.
plate. I just want to walk through some of the design updates and improvements from our previous version. So this version is a one-piece setup. Our previous version had a leg roller attachment and then an additional piece that had the plate. So this one is a lot more streamlined. It's got a pin, spring-loaded pin back here, so you can adjust the foot angle. And then that also functions as a way to get more granularity with your leg roller pads when you're doing lat pull downs, etc. So how it connects onto your rack, we've got a pin over here with a custom rounded tip. So it just comes in very smooth. It holds in place, it's balanced, and then you can just put on your nut, take away any slop, etc. So I'll just pop it off here and show a little bit. We've got UHMW plastic protecting your rack on all the sides. And then this is shown with a 1-inch pin here. You can easily swap in a 5/8" pin. One cool aspect is on the underside here, we have this custom spring pin design that allows for you to swap if it's a right side of your rack or left side of your rack. So that's a unique spring pin with this knurled knob on it. Yeah, we've been super happy with this attachment. There's just a couple small minor tweaks, including this will have a diamond plate instead of the smooth. Let us know if you have any thoughts. And
I guess that's not the one that he shows the leg rollers coming off. I think it's great.
I did see that. Yeah,
You did
cool.
see what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yes, and he took them apart. He takes them off and then puts them. Yeah.
I like Teddy Waffles called out that theirs is designed off center to accommodate their ecosystem, which is off center for their pulley. They're on the upright. I agree. I mean, for me, it would be better centered, but I think you could still get away with using it for other applications, even if you're not in that dialed motion pulley ecosystem. But they're not the only ones to be coming out with something like this. GetRx has got something similar coming out. I will say though that in my experience, dialed motion just kind of puts a level of polish on their products that I don't typically see coming out from the companies like GetRx or even Rep Fitness and a couple of different pieces. So I'm really curious to see what they've got going on here. I think not that we're showing it here, but like their leg extension, leg curl attachment that they've been teasing. I think that kind of shows you just the level of thought that they put into these things, and the fact that they let the community kind of influence the direction that they're going. They're able to do that because of their size. Whereas when you think about, like, for instance, the Rep one that just came out, I think it's great, but it's not like they ever asked the community, like, what do you want from this? Or how should we tweak this? Or
That's because they're so worried about people copying them, I believe.
yeah, I guess that's true.
But when you're, yeah, I mean, people could do the same thing here.
Yeah.
But they probably also don't know how to get feedback any other way. But I mean, I wonder if like Rogue sees their products and they're like, oh, or Rep, and just be like, we should partner with them, like PRX just did with them. I mean, because they already made a product for Rep and Rogue products.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the logistics or
I don't either.
The intricacies
I would just
of
be
how that all
very. I'm
works.
just curious. It seems like a perfect match, and
Yeah.
it would save a lot of people time. And yeah,
Me too, Joey. Me too. Cool. What else?
I did.
do you
Back
got?
to the dialed motion leg curl leg extension. We basically have had conversations where I'm like, I have no interest in this because I already have a leg curl leg extension. You were like, I have a ton of interest in this because I have less space than you, and I don't want to get a dedicated machine. And did you see that poll I did? It was like, what's your level of interest in a leg extension, leg curl attachment for a bench? And it was like very high, medium, or low interest. And the most popular answers were low and very high. And there was a lot more very high than high interest. So it's one of those products where it's like yes or no for the most part.
I think that just underlines the opposite end of the spectrum that both you and I are on. It's like, if you had the space, you've already got a dedicated leg extension, leg curl. If you don't, then you've been waiting for something that's bench attached or otherwise that could solve that problem, and that would be me. I don't have the space. Otherwise, I would have already put some kind of a plate loaded leg extension, leg curl in my gym. So I think that's what you're seeing on that survey response,
For
right?
sure. Absolutely.
They've been available and accessible for so long. So it's funny. Stray Dog threw shade at Rep for ripping them off. No, it won't be a controversy because Stray Dog is known for ripping off people. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. Stray Dog has.
For which product, Bill?
What product were they throwing shade at Rep? I do know that Stray Dog is ripped off Darko, and I know there's Kyle, Kaizen. So yeah, they have a. Let's see, their social media presence comes off as like, our shit don't stink, and it just rubs me the wrong way. So I've got a platform to sit on right now, and I'm feeling spicy. I'm just gonna say it like it is.
You're not being that spicy.
Okay.
You're getting the point across, but I'm sure you could, based off what you are sounding like, I'm sure you could say much worse. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything.
I'm letting the street sweeper cruise by.
All right. Let's see. Next up. Oh, did this video never load? All right. So we put this in. Mike put this in like 2 minutes before because they just released it, and we added some videos and pictures, and the video doesn't appear that it worked.
We could probably just like pull up in a different screen if we want to. But and I apologize. I know I cut you off there. The reason I shared it is because they released the Nemesis a little while ago, over a year ago, and it kind of just like faded off into the sunset. But I've heard from a couple of people who did own it, and they really liked it. So I'm curious to see how this new one does. Yeah, thanks for that, Joey. And Andy just affirming my sentiments on a stray dog.
All right. So I pulled up the Titan homepage, and we can meet the new Nemesis, which features a 300-pound weight stack, pivoting arms, and dual adjustable trolleys. $2,800. So I think a couple years ago they released the first one. I don't know which version this is, but the biggest feedback was there was not enough weight, and it combined with a 4-to-1 pulley ratio. And this one, what did you say the pulley ratio was? Or
it's still 4-to-1.
It's 4-to-1, but you can connect. You can connect both cables and shift to a 2-in-1 ratio when you need more weight. So I have a Force USA G15. It's the favorite item I have in my home gym. I'll just say that. And I use it as like a functional trainer and Smith machine, all kind of like accessory type options. I have a 289-pound stack, and it has either a 4-to-1 ratio or 2-to-1 ratio. And if you're using it for functional trainer stuff, it's even at a 4-to-1 ratio, it's more than enough. So I do think, people will still probably say, oh, 4-to-1 ratio. That's not going to be enough weight. And if you're using it as a functional trainer, anything not for just a lat pull down or maybe even low row, you're going to be good. So I think this is more than enough weight, and 4-to-1 should be really smooth and has a lot of like versatility as far as like weight options, considering 1 pound is 4 pounds. Yeah. So just wanted to put that out there. I haven't looked at this product yet, but wanted to emphasize that.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it too closely either. I just wanted to highlight Andy's comment that he'd rather get the Costco Center One to try over the Nemesis. I think what you'll see potentially is, don't you have a center?
I have the actual all-in-one center.
Okay, gotcha.
The old Inspire.
I don't pay too much attention to Titan sales and stuff anymore. I mean, they still bombard me with I get a lot of their newsletters because I've signed up multiple times to get their 10% off. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But the thing about Titans, sometimes you can catch a really great flash sale. So I could see this eventually hitting a flash sale and them selling a lot of them because of the cost, the price. But I don't love the solution of saying, oh, it's 2-to-1. If you attach both pulleys to our bar, then you get the 2-to-1. There's their new mag pins that they just dropped.
Yeah, it looks like just standard mag pins.
Yeah.
They look like the fringe ones.
They're little, yeah, I don't know. I think that they look similar to the fringe ones, but I think that the head is probably
nicer.
Not as, I don't know. We'll have to see. Like the head looks a little bit, it's not as wide, but it's longer. That's what she said. And I'd be curious. Like there's something about mag pins where there is a difference in usability, how strong are the magnets. I would say that probably my favorite mag pin that I've interacted with is the surplus strength one. It just has like a really good feel. It's lightweight. And I have the fringe ones. I've got the O Club ones. I think those are the only two that I have, but I'd be curious to see how those ones handle in use.
Yeah.
Ooh, need to clear my throat there.
I, I have to say, I think there's been, let me stop sharing my screen real quick.
Yeah. Andy is highlighting what I was getting at. Like back in the day, you could get some really good deals on Titan stuff.
And Titan does send a ton of emails,
They do.
multiple a day, I think. I do think there's been a little bit of over analysis as to what the best mag pen is. Yeah, everywhere you look, they're like, "What's the best mag pen?" And then you get like, I don't know. I think they're all kind of pretty similar. They all do the same thing.
They all do the same thing, but there's just like there is a certain level of nuance at the level of like home gym that most of us are at, where you're looking for I mean, man, I've spent hundreds of dollars trying to find the right carabiner that I liked, right? Like, yeah, they'll all get it done from the one that I can buy at my local Home Depot to like I spent the time in tracking down where Rogue sources their carabiners because I liked the Rogue carabiners so much. By the way, you can buy them at SMC Gear. They're like a hiking and they make all types of stuff, but SMC Gear, you can go on and get the Mountain D carabiner, which is exactly the one that Rogue sources. It's big, it's light, and it just functions well. So the same thing with mag pins, like if you're at this level of like home gym evangelism or enthusiasm, if you want to call it that, you're looking for the perfect mag pin. Yeah.
I get it. Do we know who the first person to create a mag pen was? The first company?
Well, it might have been Oak Club.
Was it Oak Club?
It might have been.
Surplus Strength was early.
Surplus Strength was pretty early. I agree with the Kurt Locker here. I haven't tried the surplus. Is it Vex pins? But they are something I'm very interested in because of the way that I've kind of created like a DIY functional trainer on my rack. Yeah, I want those. And they were on sale last Black Friday, and I almost pulled the trigger.
Yeah, these things are cool. I don't know if anyone else is doing this and it has a nice carabiner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think these are tough to beat.
Like, so FYI, that's an SMC Gear carabiner that you've got there. That's from Rogue.
I have like 40 of these around.
Yeah, that's an SMC Gear. That's one of them. Andy's saying that O Club was the first. I think they were. Yeah. We're getting some confirmation here. Overanalyzing quick release swivel shackles are the new mag pin, which were the new carabiner. Yeah, exactly. And Andy, I saw you ask, where can you get the ones that I have? Those are, I mean, I have a lot of them, but I'm assuming you're talking about the black ones, which is SMC Gear, Sam Mike Charlie Gear. And it's called their Mountain D carabiner. And it's the same ones that Rogue sources. They're not cheap. They're like $7-8 each shipped, but I like them a lot.
Did you see my post where I was like, why doesn't somebody make just like a single tower? Like, there is somebody creating them now. I do think there's a lot of potential for somebody to just make this easy to buy. And there's the only one that I can find is Voltra sells one for $500, just like a single post. So this company is creating a couple of different options, and they're looking at $299 shipped to your door.
For just the upright, or like
for just a single wall-mounted upright that with the lags to put in the wall as well.
Okay. Yeah. And are they giving you like a bunch of different options on how to build out that upright?
I don't know. I haven't heard back from them in like a week or so.
Joey's asking, is it Frey?
Is it Frey? No, I think Frey. I heard a rumor that Frey is down to like a single employee. I think they're just trying to clear stuff and close up shop.
that might
So
be worth keeping an eye on Frey. Just to catch
it's not,
something
so
at a
it's
really
not
good
Frey.
deal. It's not Frey. Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. You can't really, I mean, you can buy single uprights like from Rogue, I'm pretty sure. They don't, maybe not. They might force you to buy them in pairs. I know Rep makes you buy an upright in a pair.
It's not even that. It's that you have to go figure out what you buy your own screws and like
Oh,
it's not
sure.
necessarily optimized to it's optimized to put into another post
Right.
rather than into the wall.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. And then you have to find the cross members to put it into the wall and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. And Andy calls out another good thing. In order to get a
Oh,
single or
Frey
double
got
upright, you have to ask for a quote from Rogue.
Frey got bought. That's what
Oh,
it said.
so maybe,
Gotcha.
and you do have to buy a pair. I see you, Andy.
I wonder who would buy them.
What, the uprights? Oh,
No,
Frey. You're
Frey.
talking about Frey. I don't know. We could probably figure it out.
I'm
But
not
I'm
on
not
their
sure.
email list, I don't think.
I don't think I'm on their email list either. Aren't they the ones that during COVID got themselves in trouble taking a bunch of pre-orders and
Yeah, they
that
were
them?
clearly like, yeah, they were sending out some crap, and everything took a while. I think they were straight drop shipping from China as well. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I think that was the norm. Oh, Frey sells a single upright now? What?
Trying to clear out that inventory. I wonder if they have to like repackage them because it seems like they probably come from the factory in pairs.
But it's probably not to like mount to a wall.
No. Well, you got to find out who's released one that you can mount to a wall. I think you're right. There's an opportunity there for a company to release like a wall mounted single upright and then allow you to kind of build out different things on it. Like, how do you want to leverage this upright? Because there's obviously the simple answer is for plate storage, but there's other things that you can do with that as well.
For sure.
So,
yeah, more than just plate storage. You can,
yeah.
That's like with the Voltra, or you can put an Athena there, or like a number of different attachments that you can move in and out.
Can you buy just the stuff for an Athena for one side?
Mm-hmm.
You can just buy a single stack Athena components. That's good to know.
And you can even buy just like a single plate loaded stack, or sorry, a single plate loaded option as well, which would be way cheaper.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Titan is so close and doesn't have. I don't know. I think Frey was trash.
I mean, I think why, okay, but here's a question is why would any company like an already established home gym or gym supplier / manufacturer acquire somebody like Frey, especially if they're already importing? It's all the same stuff, unless Frey had some kind of IP and had patented some type of a unique idea. Like what's the upside? Like maybe
Or if
getting
they had,
access to
like-
their email list
I was gonna say if
potentially.
they had like a million emails.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's no way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So that's probably why like Bells of Steel or Titan wouldn't have any interest in purchasing Frey. I'm sure whoever purchased Frey, it was just a business decision. They probably don't already make gym equipment.
I think we read that wrong. I don't think. Oh, Joey, did you mean Frey actually got bought? What if it was Galgano?
Yeah,
No.
sure.
So Takeover Strength's going to be at Home Gym Con?
I did see that.
Rich
Yeah.
Galgano in the flesh.
Oh, is he coming?
I believe so.
That will be cool.
Yeah.
Is he gonna have a booth for his books?
Maybe.
Probably.
They only got a 10 by 10, so
Well, their stuff is all pretty small now, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's
They
the
don't need more
squat
than that.
saddle
Yeah.
and some of their
Yeah.
myofascial stuff. Trying to see if I can figure out who would have purchased Frey Fitness, but I'm gonna need.
Joey, do you know how long ago that was?
They sent out an email saying they were under new ownership and leadership. I'm pretty sure I'm not on their email list. Or I went through a season of like unsubscribing to a bunch of things, and maybe Frey got caught in that because I do remember getting some emails
Yeah.
from them.
March 25th. Yeah, I was gonna say about a month ago, somebody told me he thought they were closing though. He heard all of the employees were let go except for one.
All right. Well, interesting. They never had anything that I was really interested in. But I know a few people, like I think Mark's the Spot just recently bought like their budget squat stand, saying that he repurposed it for something. I can't remember what it was. But that's a good idea.
I think if you were to like buy a bunch of stuff from them, you could have gotten some good deals because where they got you was like with the shipping. They're like, $99 squat stand, and then it was $300 to ship. So I think there was like if you really wanted a budget home gym, Frey, you could have gotten it with Frey. It was just kind of like a coin flip. Is it gonna turn out okay or not?
Yeah. Just reading through the comments to see if there's anything else.
Yeah,
that we
I
should
think
cover.
I think the Frey stuff was honestly just fine. It was just like what everybody else sells, same
Okay.
factories and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Jameson cannot wait to meet Mr. Galgano.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
Speaking of uprights, Iron Bowl has started selling their Frankenstein upright pairs,
The snowman holes.
snowman holes. Do you see any value in that?
No, because I don't have 5/8 inch attachments. I see the biggest upside to that being somebody who wants to move on from their 5/8 inch rack, but continue to leverage their existing library of 5/8 inch attachments that they might have. So they kind of get the best of both worlds. I think the alternative to that would be, you want to be able to buy a 1-inch rack, but pay less for attachments by, being able to have access to 5/8 inch attachments. I might, but that's not for me. Like I'm into the 1-inch ecosystem. I'm not
Same.
going backwards.
Same.
So no, I don't. I also wonder why, to Teddy Waffles' snowman comment, why they didn't put the 1-inch on top of the 5/8 inch hole. Like, why are they snowmanned like that? Who knows from a design perspective? Maybe it has something to do with the way that the laser cutter cuts the square tubing, but it is kind of funny the way it looks.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it looked cool. I don't see a need from it myself, but
That's interesting. From Anand, the Rogue rack attached GHD is 5/8 inch only. That's just a weird edge scenario that I've never even thought or heard of.
huh. Let's see. Yeah, let me share my screen real quick.
Are you pulling up the Iron Bowl?
Yeah, and then we can close it. All right, Iron Bowl. Power racks. Maybe, hopefully.
Have they even released it yet?
Maybe not. Frankenstein? Oh, Frankenstein uprights.
$350 for a pair. Oh, but they're all 5/8 inch at the bottom. Huh.
Yeah, it has to be, or else it would like slide through. Like if you put the 5/8 on top, wouldn't it just come right down? Pink.
I guess. I don't know.
Pair set.
Oh, maybe they are. Maybe the 1 inch is on top of the 5/8 inch,
Not
but
quite
they're
sure
still
why you
calling them the
can't-
snowman hole.
Can't
Scroll
just buy
down.
the rack.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I was wrong.
I guess
Is
you
that
could probably
purple?
flip it upside down too. Like,
Yeah, you could. But the all 5/8 inch at the bottom. I guess that makes sense because when they were showing the rack, their cross members are only 5/8 inch.
right.
So that makes sense for their little ecosystem that they're creating.
Yeah, they've got some cool stuff. High end stuff.
Well, we'll
Anyways.
learn more about them in a couple
Anyways.
months at Home Gym Con. Yeah, anyway. Lots of dead air there. Let's
Staring at the
bring
screen.
this back. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I guess that's it for today. Let us know in the comments if there's anything else you guys want us to cover. But other than that, thanks for being here, everyone. Jake, good chat. You got anything
chat.
else for us today?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
All right, cool. Well, then
All
we'll
right.
catch you guys next Tuesday.